One of the many features that is distinct to Albion is the historic Coke sign that keeps a mindful watch over the downtown area. It was one of 16,000 advertising signs painted between 1894 and 1970 by the Coca-Cola Company. Few are left today, and most have faded into obscurity, were painted over or demolished with their buildings. The Coke Sign Project. Janet Domingo and Linda Colmaden, both from Michigan, moved to Albion from Birmingham and Muskegon, respectively. They settled into the community, raising their families and contributing to the town that they grew to love. They began researching the process to restore the weathered old billboard. As the work continued, they expanded their project and chose to build on Albion's cultural assets, which influenced and enriched the unique and special community that Albion became and is today. Successful fundraising through a patronicity matching grant and generous local donations made it possible to complete the campaign to restore our Coke sign, bring art and history downtown. The final goal: 1. Restore the Coke sign. 2. Commission a mural to honor Albion's foundry history. 3. Acknowledge youth sports in Albion and create a space to pay tribute to Coach Jerry Sacharski and recognize that it is collectively known that in Victory Park, Albion, Michigan, June 25th, 1956, the first organized baseball game to use the batting tee was played.
In 1960, Michigan State University hosted the Pee Wee Players in an exhibition game. That game was videotaped by a local television station. In 2000, the video was accepted to the National Baseball Hall of Fame at Cooperstown, New York. I had contact with a few All-Stars following the dedication of the T-ball garden. I was told that they had no idea that the video was sent to the Baseball Hall of Fame. One player asked if it was available to see. I said, well, I would do some research and see what I could find out. Well, it took a while, but Ken, here it is!
WMSB presents Midget Baseball, live from Diamond 9 of the Intramural Field on the campus of Michigan State University. And now, here's your sportscaster for this afternoon's game, Gus Ganakis.
Good afternoon, baseball fans. Welcome again to another Midget Baseball telecast. This is our last telecast, and we feel we really have a treat for you today. Our guests come from Albion, Michigan, from their baseball Pee Wee League. Most of you baseball fans probably know what a regulation baseball diamond looks like, but today's diamond might be less recognizable to you. In fact, here with me is Jerry Sacharski, the director of the Albion baseball program. And Jerry, I walked on the field, and the only thing I recognized were the bases. Could you tell us a little bit about what the layout looks like here and the rules by which these boys from Albion will be playing today?
All right, I sure will, Gus. First of all, let me state that Pee Wee baseball is a playground game. It's a playground activity. And in Albion, we have it in our regular program because it is much easier to administer the program as far as personnel is concerned and equipment and the playing area. And also, we want to make it clear that Pee Wee baseball is primarily for participation and drill in the fundamentals of the game. The simple fundamentals: throwing, catching, running the bases, and swinging a bat. We use competition and events like this, Gus, simply to stimulate a little interest. You know, it's much more interesting for a boy to do certain drills and have a little competition mixed in. Now, just to give you an idea of what of how hard we play the ball game, let me show you a couple of the names of some of our teams over here, Gus. We have two divisions here. We have two divisions in our league, and you see here's the Red Division All-Stars. Those are the boys who will be playing today. They'll have the ends. We have the Bugs Bunnies, the Donald Ducks, the Little Lulus are leading the Red Division League. The Mouseketeers, the Popeyes, the Porky Pigs, and the Yogi Bears. I'm sure all the boys are familiar with that.
Typical baseball name, Yogi
Yeah,
Bears.
it's good. And in the Blue Division All-Stars, we have, well, here we have some, I suppose, tougher names. Johnny Ringos, the Lone Rangers, the Matt Dillons, the Mavericks, the Paladins, the Wyatt Earps, and the Zorros.
Jerry, it's hard to tell which are the good guys there.
Well, here, let me see. The Mavericks are the ones who are leading the league. They're undefeated, as a matter of fact. Well, listen, let me very quickly, before we start the ball game, let me very quickly give you the some of the technical points here so that you're going to be describing this game play by play. So I'll give you a couple of pointers here, and also our TV viewing audience can get in on this so that they can understand some of the procedures that we follow here. At home plate, since we do not have a catcher and pitcher or pitcher in Pee Wee baseball, we do not have a home plate. The only purpose of the home plate there is to hold the batting tee, you see. And we have a home area, or a home plate area if you want to call it that, and it's a circle. Now, whenever there's a play at home, the boys aim for the circle. In other words, we give them a general area to throw to. You can, you know very well that 6, 7, and 8-year-old youngsters have a tough time throwing to a specific target. So that's the idea of the circle. And the runner must beat the ball to the circle, not to the plate. You'll notice in the batting area. And here I want to introduce Chuck Queberman right now. Chuck, you want to get in that batting area? This is Chuck Queberman. He's a graduate of the Pee Wee League. I think he's a 2-year veteran, and he's now playing in the Pee Wee All-Star League, where in our Pee Wee All-Star League we have the same setup except we add a catcher and a pitcher. Now you'll notice the batter has to stay behind the line and also inside, or we might call it outside of that line. Now there's a definite purpose for that, Chuck. You see, when he hits that ball, he's going to have to hit that ball out in front of him. And as a result, most of the time, 90% of the time, the ball is going to go to the left side of the field or straight up to second base. Consequently, we put our older players and our stronger fielders to the left side and the younger players over on the right-hand side, as you can well see. And there are a few other details about the home area, and we'll take those up maybe as the game goes along. Then let's look over to first base. You'll notice that every position on the field, we have, even though we do not have a catcher and pitcher, there are 10 positions on the field. And you've coached some baseball, and you know it's pretty tough to even get some of these older guys to, go in the right position before that batter is ready to bat. So you can imagine what a problem it would be with the younger fellas. Right. So what we do is to put them a nice little mark out there so that they can go right to it. Now, a fielder must be on his mark when the batter addresses the ball. Once the ball is hit, of course, then if he's to be involved in the play, why, he can come off of the fielding mark. For example, if a ball was hit to shortstop right now, the first baseman would go over, and there you see we have a semicircle around first base. Now, in a ball game where you have youngsters, you'll find that there are many close plays. By close play, I mean collisions and so on. The boys they cover the bag too much, and the boys are afraid to run across the base because there's a foot in the way and so on. So in this league, we have the fielder put his foot anywhere inside the semicircle, and if he catches the ball before the runner hits the bag, then, of course, he's out. Now, you can see how the fielder has an opportunity to field the ball without worrying about the runner, and the runner can tear right across that old base. Now, Chuck will move over to right shortstop. This is ordinarily, this is second base position, but here we call it right shortstop. And let's move over to second base now, Chuck. Here goes Chuck over to second base. We do not have an X out there because the fielder must be in the circle when the ball is addressed. Now, you'll notice the fielder here at second base, we have a complete circle because the fielder can turn in any direction. For example, if the ball was out in left field, he can be looking, or let's say left short, you see, ready for the catch. Over to the other side, Chuck, just move around the circle. He'll show you, he'll move around the circle. Here's from left field. Oh, Chuck doesn't want to get the line, you see, obliterated there. So, okay, Chuck, you don't have to be too careful, Chuck, because we're going to take good care of that line in a little while. Go ahead. You see how he can go around the base. Right. Okay, Chuck, left short. Now he's playing, this is a regular shortstop position. We call it left shortstop. And third base, the X is the fielding position. Of course, he's gone right to the base, which is okay. But you see how the third baseman plays. Now, you know very well there are few really successful plays at third base with the young kids. And that's the reason why we want to teach them to catch the ball, to throw the ball, and not much more than that, except to get the atmosphere of the game. Chuck, let's very quickly take the outfield positions. 5 outfield positions.
Well, these rules, Jerry, certainly expedite the game for these young boys. There's no question about that.
It certainly does. It keeps the game moving, and we have played games with scores of 21-18, and the game has been
Pitching
over in
battles.
30. Yes, pitching battles. Oh, yes, in the Pee Wee League, those would be pitching battles. We had some very, very close games the past 2 days, 6-4 and 6-5. I think the boys are getting foxy.
We will not have a pitcher and catcher today, right, Jerry?
No, sir. No pitcher or catcher. You're going to really have a test today.
It's going to be interesting to see the boys operate under these rules.
All right, now, Chuck, this is rather strange, I suppose, because without a catcher and pitcher, we still have a bullpen in this game. Now, the purpose of the bullpen in Pee Wee baseball actually is, well, you know how it is. The youngsters kind of stray a little bit, see?
That's right.
So, you see, we have 15 players on a team, so when a team goes out in the field, we can only use 10 players. And consequently, there are 5 extra players. So what we do is send them to the bullpen so that they're available when the team comes up to bat. And there you see the bullpen right there. Then finally, we have the 45-foot line right here, Gus. The purpose of that is this. We found out when we started this thing that the boys were topping the ball, not intentionally necessarily, but topping the ball, and maybe the ball would only go about 10 or 12 feet, and boy, it's pretty much to expect the fielder to charge all the way in and take care of that. And since there's no pitcher to cover the short area, we devised this setup here where the 45-foot line is the line over which the ball must travel to be fair. So in a regular ball game, any ball hit forward between the foul lines is a fair ball, of course, provided it's touched before it hits the bags and so on. But in this game, the ball is, when it's hit forward, the ball is foul until it reaches the line. Now, one of the purposes of that line also is that it teaches the boys to charge up on a ball. They'll make a game out of trying to get that ball before it goes across the line, to make a foul ball out of it, see? So actually, they're learning to charge up on some of those slow rollers.
That would certainly produce some agility in the young player.
And now, Chuck, before we start this ball game, I want to introduce you to the perhaps the youngest player, I don't know, maybe in the world. I guess if somebody else has, the youngest player in an organized baseball league. Let's see, Melvin, let's turn around here. I guess I want to get you on camera here. Melvin, right here is Gus Ganakis, and I want you to take your glove and shake his hand. Attaboy. Melvin is 5 years old, and he will be 6, and of course he's eligible. We take boys as long as they'll become 6, during the season. And Melvin, of course, will be playing right field today, and he'll be up at bat, so you'll be able to see him later, and I'm sure you'll be able to see what he can do.
Melvin, how old are you? 5 years old. Well, you're going to have a lot of baseball years ahead of you, and I suppose that you're very interested in playing baseball at this age. Well, Melvin is 5 years old. He's the youngest baseball player in organized baseball, claimed by the Albion fans at any rate. And Jerry, today you and I are going to do the commentary on this game, so let's parlay that with being the 2 youngest commentators in organized baseball.
Okay.
Well, we're ready for the pre-game ceremony now.
The Star Spangled Banner right now.
Well, we're about ready to get the ball game underway, the Pee Wee baseball game between the 2 all-star teams from the Recreation Baseball Program in Albion, Michigan, sponsored by the Arnie Spahn, the Recreation Director, and Jerry Sacharski, the Baseball Director. Well, fans, that was really a heartwarming thing to watch the Star Spangled Banner being played, and these all-star Pee Wee ball players from Albion lined up along the first baseline and the third baseline. They really look cute. While they're taking their positions on the marks that are marked by the line on the field. This ball game is a Pee Wee baseball game. No pitcher, no catcher. The boys will be batting from the baseball tee. Well, Arnie Spahn, you want to come on in here and sit down, and maybe you can read the starting lineups for us. Arnie is the recreation director at Albion, Michigan.
Thank you very much, Gus. I want to thank you and Gaylord Creedon, the director and producer of this, and all of your staff and yourself for this wonderful opportunity. We certainly appreciate it, and we hope all the fans will get a big thrill out of it, as I'm sure all of them have so far. Starting out at first base for the Pee Wee Red team, Danny Taylor. At center field, Reggie Google. Incidentally, Taylor is from the Porky Pigs team. Google's from the Donald Ducks. John Sims at left short from the Donald Ducks. Lanny Ross, center field, from the Bugs Bunnies. Craig Phipps, second base, the Little Lulus. Dan Robekin, left field, Yogi Bears. Lonnie Spencer, third base, from the Porky Pigs. John Eddy, left center field, from the Bugs Bunnies. Gar Stone, right shortstop, Yogi Bears. Jack Abelin, right center field, Little Lulus. Ken Supernut, left field, from the Yogi Bears. Russell Klein, right center field, Porky Pigs. David Curry, right field, Popeyes. Dale Hildreth, from the Donald Ducks, right center field. Melvin Mills, right field, from the Bugs Bunnies.
Well, excuse me, Arnie, we'll fill in on that
Sure.
blue team, I guess it is, isn't it? Yes, the blue team. We'll give that starting lineup in just a moment and have the game get underway here. Well, here we go for the first batter here, and he hits it off the tee, and it's a beautiful play there by the shortstop. And, Arnie, that's called the right shortstop, is it? The right shortstop.
Right shortstop.
So that was Danny Taylor,
Danny Taylor.
wide out for the first out. And this is Reggie Google, the center fielder, 7 years old. He comes from the Donald Duck team. There's the hit off the tee. Might fall in there. It is. A base hit for Reggie. Rounding first base. Here comes the play at second now. Nice throw. Here he comes. Take a look at it. And he's in there. So there's the first base hit. Brings up John Sims of the Donald Ducks. 8-year-old John Sims. Man on second base, that's Reggie Google. He got a base hit. Notice how they put the ball on the tee now. You'll hit the ball off the tee. No pitcher, no catcher in this ball game. There's a hard smash. It's going to be out into left field. Run's going to score. Reggie Google's going to score. Here comes John Sims into second. Might get a play at third. Goes halfway, bad throw into the bullpen. Rounds third. Here comes the play at home. Now you'll see what's going to happen here. Ball went in the bullpen, and John Sims went all the way around for the score. So that's 2-0. Favor of the red team from Albion. I don't know, Arnie, will you give him a double or a triple on that? What do you think?
I think that would be a triple. Nobody handled the ball.
Lanny Ross is the batter. Notice the batting form used here. The fly ball, the shortstop going to be under that, and he takes it for the second out.
Good catch there. It's remarkable how well these boys catch.
That's
here.
right. It's a great game for teaching the skills of baseball and taking away those parts of the game which are difficult for young boys at this age to do. For example, the plays at home or covering a base. Here's a ground ball. Let's see what happens there. Right between the legs of the second baseman. So
He has a nickname back home called Fireball.
Fireball Phipps, huh? Ah, the runner missed first base. Now, of course, that happens frequently, I suppose, in Pee Wee baseball. Right. As soon as the runner misses the base, the umpire calls him out automatically. There's no appeal play. In other words, in a Major League Baseball, the ball would have to come back to the first base, for example, and the first baseman would have to touch first base. So the score now in this ball game between these two Pee Wee teams from Albion, the Pee Wee Reds lead 2-0 over the Pee Wee Blues. Well, Arnie, I think we're ready for that Pee Wee Blue lineup. You want to read that for us?
Okay. Steve Estelle is playing first base for the Pee Wee Blue, and he's from the Matt Dillons. Ricky Driver, right short, the Lone Rangers. Waverly Short, left shortstop, Paladins. Mike Reynolds, left field, Paladins. Richard Everett, second base, Mavericks. Jim Brown, third base, Lone Rangers. George Johnson, third base, Johnny Ringos. Mike Hurley, center field, Matt Dillons. Paul Basha, right short, Matt Dillons. Mark Ashdown, left center field, Lone Rangers. And Dan Anglin, right short. Center field.
There's a fly ball, might drop in there. It does, for a base hit for the batter, Steve Estelle. He's going into second base. Notice how the second baseman covers the base. All he has to do is catch the ball and have his foot within that circle. Well, it's a base hit there for Steve Estelle, 8-year-old, from the Matt Dillon team. He's on second base. Brings up Ricky Driver. Ricky's from the Lone Rangers. He'll be followed by Waverly Short. Okay, here's Ricky Driver now to try his chances at hitting that ball off the tee safely. Beautiful play by the second baseman. Come charging in there and hauled it in. So that's one out. Score here is 2-0. Brings up Waverly Short of the Paladins.
Craig Phipps that made that play.
Craig Phipps hauled that ball in. So you see, fans, there's a lot of action in this game. It isn't like many baseball games where the players really don't get an opportunity to handle the ball because the pitcher dominates. Fly ball. Craig Phipps again. He might have a play at second. Out at second, a double play. Very good play there by Craig Phipps, the second baseman he's 7 years old. Made a double play there. So that's 3 outs in that inning and no score for the blue team. Had one hit. Did you finish up that starting lineup, Arnie?
Okay. Mark Ashdown, left center field from the Lone Rangers. Dan Anglin, right center field from the Mavericks. Rick Harris, right field from the Paladins. Bobby Harris, left center field from the Zorros. Craig Radee, right center field from Johnny Ringos. Terry Rocky, right field from the Matt Dillon. Incidentally, Terry Rocky's birthday today, and he's 5 years old. He was 5. He's 6
made
years,
6.
He's
Huh?
6 years old today.
Is that youngest player? Yeah, Melvin Mills. He's in the ball game.
Yes, he's still 5.
Now it's interesting too. They carry 15 players on a team, and all 15 players bat. However, there are only 10 players who participate on the defense, and the defensive players must be on the spot that's lined out in the field. You'll see the players right now. They go to that spot before the batter hits the ball. Well, we're in the second inning, and the first batter will be Dan Robicon of the Yogi Bears, the left fielder. Hits the ball off the batting tee. There's a fly ball. Might be a base hit. It is. Stopped by that fielder there, and he holds up at first base. So Dan Robicon gets a base hit, starting off the second inning for the red team. Lonnie Spencer, the batter now. Look at Lonnie here. Lonnie's a 6-year-old from the Porky Pig team. Now watch these boys as they get ready to hit. There's a ground ball. Shortstop moved over nicely. Runners on first and second now. No outs. That shortstop covers a lot of ground, Arnie.
He sure does. Waverly Short.
John Eddie now the batter. There it is to the shortstop.
Waverly Short.
Brings it in, the line drive. Notice again, fans, that these boys are seeing a lot of action. They're able to catch fly balls, go after ground balls, make throws, which is important at this age to develop fundamentals. Another ground ball.
Waverly Short.
Fumbled it momentarily to play at third. He's out. Safe? Where? Oh, he's safe at third now. Arnie, that must mean that the fielder must not touch the base. Is that right?
No, he said the fielder interfered with the runner.
Oh,
And so
the right shortstop there.
Yeah.
Well, it's no outs and 3 men on now. The batter is
Garstone, Jack.
8-year-old. Now here we might have the play foul ball. Now notice there, fans.
Waverly short.
Stop. Saw that ball might get past that white line, that semicircle, and so he very quickly got in there to touch the ball because that's a foul ball if it does not go past that semicircle in the infield.
Jack Abilene.
Again for a second try. Strike 2. They get 3 tries, right, Arnie? 3 tries to hit the ball.
Jack Abilene.
From the Yogi Bears. He's going to swing here in a moment. Lines it up, and the tee went farther than the ball. He's got power anyway.
The ball ended up
So that's a strikeout. If you fail to hit the ball in 3 tries, then it's a strikeout. So even strikeouts occur in this ball game, despite the fact we have no pitcher. The bat.
Ken Supernaut.
There's a ground ball.
Waverly short.
Ball. 1 run's going to score. To play at second. Safe. Base is still loaded. Base is still loaded. Brings up
Dale Hildreth.
8-year-old left fielder. He plays for the Yogi Bears. This is an all-star team. There it is. Second baseman makes a nice play, and he's got the play at second. For the 3rd out. That run didn't count, did it, Arnie?
No.
So they got to pick up another run in that inning. Score now 3-0 going into the last half of the 2nd inning with the Pee Wee Reds over the Pee Wee Blues. These 2 teams coming from Albion, Michigan, from the Pee Wee division of their baseball program. These are boys who are called All-Stars, and they represent various teams. We stated the teams are very interesting names: Porky Pigs, Donald Ducks, Bugs Bunnies, Little Lulus, Yogi Bears, and then they have the division of Matt Dillon's, Lone Rangers, Paladins, Mavericks. Sure, most of you fans have heard those names. Well, we're going into the last half of the 2nd inning. The first batter for the Pee Wee Blues will be Mike Reynolds, the left fielder, 8-year-old. And here he gets ready to hit the ball off the tee, and he does. Almost caught by the second baseman. So Mike Reynolds pulls up safely at first base, bringing up to the plate Richard Everett. The Blues are up bat. They trail 3-0. Let's watch Dick Everett take his swings here. Boy, he really reared back, didn't he, Arnie? It's a foul ball because the ball did not go past that line semicircle. How far is that, Arnie?
I believe that's a 6-foot circle around there.
Nice play by the shortstop. Usually they play the best player at the shortstop positions because most of these balls by the right-handed hitters will be hit to the left side of the field. How about that distance of the semicircle?
That's 45
feet.
45 feet.
So there's 1 out. Jim Brown, 8-year-old from the Lone Ranger team up at the plate. They develop pretty good batting stances even though they're hitting the ball off the tee. A line drive. Gets by the shortstop. Does the ball dead after a certain time limit, Arnie, on a hit like that? Like if he throws it in...
No, I think the ball's still in play, but as long as he stops second wide, then the
play is dead.
Play is dead.
George Johnson, the batter now.
Discretion of the...
There's a base knock, and we might have a run here. No, runner. Oh, beautiful throw by the shortstop. Right shortstop for the red team is Gar Stone, and so you'll see the shortstop get a lot of action in this game. Mike Hurley, 6-year-old, is up to the plate. Little Mike. There's a hard hit ball. Shortstop feels it. There's an underhanded toss to the second baseman. He's out at second. So Big Mike Hurley pulls up at first base safely. Let's take a shot at Mike there, Chuck. Can we get a shot at Mike at first base there? Paul Bashaw. Beautiful catch by the second baseman there. Wasn't that the second baseman?
Lanny Phipps again.
Oh, yeah, Phipps.
Fireball
Craig Phipps.
You might be
Well, they
interested.
picked up how many runs in that inning? Did they pick any runs up? It's hard to keep track of the runs in this game, isn't it?
Gus, you might be interested in this. We had approximately 750 boys sign up for baseball in Albion. To date, we still have around 650 of those boys that have stuck with us. So.
How many teams in the Pee Wee do you have? I know you have two divisions.
We had 14, and we've cut that down to 12 now.
12, 6 in each division.
So 6 in each division, yes. And all the representatives from each of those teams here
Okay,
today.
well, we got coming up to the plate, I believe, Ken Supernaut. Is that right, Arnie? I'm not quite sure.
Supernaut, yes.
But I'm not quite sure if he is the batter. Check me. Do you recognize him? Is that Ken? Might make a mistake here. There's so many runners going around here. We ought to check.
Watch this yellow, Jerry. Well,
There's 2 strikes on Ken Supernaut. That might be Russell Klein, 7-year-old.
which guy is that now?
Who's that batter, Jerry? Curry. Curry is the batter. There's a line drive on his second strike. Beautiful pickup by the shortstop.
Waverly short.
And a nice throw.
Jerry.
Well, there's a ball player, that right shortstop. Well, this is Dale Hildreth, another 6-year-old. And
Waverly short.
again comes in there from the right shortstop.
Waverly short.
We have 2 right shortstops down here in our lineup. There's a grounder, shortstop, beautiful pickup again. Boy, he's playing a ball game.
Even though Gus, even though there are 15 men, they all 15 men bat.
Yeah, but how about here?
Yeah. Well, that's the fielding position. Then they alternate. So
Oh, they alternate.
One man. Waverly short.
At shortstop now. Well, we got 2 outs, and Melvin Mills. Here is Melvin Mills, the youngest player in the Pee Wee division. Look at him swing that bat, getting ready to hit. Everybody's pushing for him. There it goes. Look at him run down the first base. That's the cutest thing. Melvin Mills, 5 years old, playing organized baseball. Well, he's got 1 strike on him. You have 3 tries to hit that ball off the tee in fair territory. Foul territory being, of course, the foul lines as in conventional baseball, and also the semicircle. Must pass that infield semicircle 45 feet away. This one might make it. No, nice play by the third baseman, see, to make it the ball foul. He's still running down to first base. Got to come all the way back there, Melvin.
Never say die.
He's going to work out anyway. I noticed there, fans, on that particular play, the third baseman charged in to keep the ball foul. Otherwise, if it passed that line, it would be fair, and he might have a tough play trying to get the runner going to first base. So Melvin Mills now is up there for his 3rd try. Let's see what he does. He hits it. It might go foul. So that's an out and the 3rd out. So they went up 1-2-3 that time, scored no runs. The score remains 3-0 here going into the last half of the 3rd inning as the Pee Wee Blues will come to the plate. Those boys really hustle in and off that field, don't they, Arnie?
They sure do.
They must really love to play this.
Yes, and I think, Gus, that should be mentioned that this primarily is not a competitive sport. And whether Jerry mentioned it to you or not down the field, I don't know, but it's primarily one of participation. And if the kids get out there and have some fun as far as participating in the game, that's what we want them to do, and have fun doing it. The scores are incidental. They just make the game more interesting, and everybody gets a chance. As you say, in this game here, there's 15 men. They all bat. The 10 men who are playing alternate in the field. I mean, there's 5 men that are alternating off and on.
Well, the batter here is Mark Ashdown, the left fielder. It's a foul ball.
Jerry?
There's a hard hit ball. Beautiful play by that second baseman, Phipps. So that's 1 out. Brings up Dan Anglin. Dan Anglin, the right center fielder. 6 years old, and he plays for the Mavericks. Hard hit ball. It's going to be a base hit. Pulls up safely at first base. Dan Anglin. So we got a runner on first for the Blue team. The Pee Wee Blues brings up Rick Harris. Rick comes from the Paladins team. See, take a look at that. Even the umpire has to tie the shoe of the baseball player. That even happens in this game, doesn't it?
Yes, that's one thing about our boys that are helping down there. This is Jerry's son, Mike. They always take time to help the boys out. And,
There's a hard ground ball. The second baseman fields it, makes the play at second base. Try for the double, and he's safe at first. So almost had a double play executed there. Bobby Harris. Bobby comes from that great Zorro team. These teams come from Albion, Michigan. This is called Pee Wee Baseball. It was originated by Jerry Sacharski, the baseball director at Albion. That's going to be a foul ball. It's a foul ball because it did not pass the semicircle, which is drawn in there with the line, which is 45 feet from home plate. The ball must travel that distance. Bobby Harris. Fly ball. Dropped by the shortstop. But they're going to have a play at first. He's out. 3 outs.
Hey, Mike.
No runs. And so we have quite a defensive battle going out here. The score only 3-0. And we were told by Jerry Sacharski and Arnie Spahn that a lot of these ball games end up in runs 20, 23. In fact, a 20-run game isn't a lot of runs normally, is it, Arnie?
No, that's about an average game.
Well,
we had one game last year where it ran up into 50 runs for the winner.
50
I think
runs.
it was 56 to 20, something like that.
Well, in this ball game, we're in the first half of the 4th inning now, and the score only 3-0. So this phantom pitcher is doing quite a job, isn't he?
Sure.
But really, what the boys are doing is fielding very well, don't you think?
Very well. It's remarkable how well some of these young boys who are really eager to get out there and practice and have developed into good fielders. Because, again, fielding is the toughest thing to do.
That's right, and they get an opportunity to field the ball in this ball game because the batter hitting it off the tee normally will hit the ball, although we've had a strikeout in this game. Well, this is Dan Taylor. There's a hard grounder, and the shortstop didn't get that one. So we got the runner on first base. There's an attempt to steal second. He makes it. So Danny Taylor is on second base now, and it brings up to the plate Reggie Google. Reggie got a base hit his first time up at the plate. Timeout as we put in the lines here to mark the spot where the batter must position his feet when hitting the ball off the tee. That's Jerry Sacharski doing the liming. Jerry's the baseball director at Albion and also the originator of this great game, Pee Wee Baseball.
Gus, I don't know whether Jerry told you this before, but he told you about how to position, how the reason for making those marks the way he did, the way they're set up there, is in order to have the boy hit the ball forward, so they strike the ball forward.
Right. In other words, they hit out in front of the ball, and the ball is always pulled. There's a nice stop by the third baseman. He's going to have a play at third. A beautiful slide there. Well, the runners are all safe, however. Out at third. Well, there's a runner on first. We're not sure what happened to the runner at third. He's out at third, so that's the first out. Runner on first brings up John Sims, 8-year-old. John Sims, the batter for the red team. They lead 3-0. There's a hard line drive. Stopped by the shortstop. He might have a play at second. He does. He's out. So Sims stopped that liner with his leg. 2 outs. Here comes Lanny Ross. Wonder if our director, Gaylor Creedon, could hit this ball. There's a line drive, base hit, going past the left fielder. Here's action on the base pass. The runner from first is going into third. He's going to score. The runner going to second. Here's an attempt at home plate, but they will not have him. Safe at home. A run scores, makes the score 4-0. Favor of this red team from Albion against the blue team.
2 good throws that time.
Right, a lot of action on that play, a lot of running. Nice base hit by Lanny Ross. There's Craig Phipps, who's been doing a great job fielding. It's a line drive. It's going to go all the way to the fence. Let's watch Craig with his leg speed. Round second base, going into third. Here, he's going to try to score, and he'll make it. A lot of action there.
Home run for Fireball.
So Fireball Phipps scores on a home run. Now we're getting action. There's a high ball. There goes one there, hit by Dan Robicon. He's going to go into second. He'll get 3, might score. Going into third, rounds third base. Here's the attempt. Here's the throw. It's got to get in the circle before he does. It didn't. That was an exciting play and a home run by Dan Robicon. What score do you have there, Tom? 6. 7, right. 7-0, the Reds lead. Now, the play there that was interesting, fans, was that the runner there attempting to make the home run has to cross the circle that's at home plate before the ball gets there. There's no tag. The ball doesn't have to hit him. The ball merely has to reach the plane of that circle before the runner gets there. And that was very close, wasn't it, Arnie?
Very close. You notice also how Jerry stops the play and helps them, regardless of whether it's an all-star game or television or what. This is more important than letting those things go by.
That's Lonnie Spencer, base hit. Boy, this team is really hitting the ball now. Look at him go. He's going into second base. Here's the play at second, but he's in there. So Lonnie Spencer arrives at second base safely with a double. Brings up John Eddy, left center fielder. This red team's really hitting now, Arnie.
They sure are. They must have had their Wheaties in large portions. Foul ball.
Foul ball. 1 strike on John Eddy. There's a fly ball. Stopped, but not caught. The play at first. Safe. Dropped by the first baseman. Now, first base is also an important position, Arnie, in this game, isn't it?
Very important. Most of these infield positions are very, very important. Short, as you mentioned, short, third, second.
Gar Stone now the batter. We're in the first half of the 4th inning. Score 7-0, favor of the blue team, red team over the Pee Wee Blues from Albion. Both these teams coming from Albion, exhibiting Pee Wee baseball. Foul ball. These boys are 5, 6, 7, and 8 years old. And here is a game that's adaptable to that age. Fly ball. Dropped by the third baseman. Here's a play at home now. But he's in there safely. So another run scores. I have 9. Is that right, or do you have 8? 8. 8-0. Favor of the red team. This is going to be a close play. Could be foul. It is. Beautiful play by the shortstop. Again, notice that he's hustling in there because he doesn't want that ball to pass that semicircle. Then it will be fair ball. And he'd have to make a difficult play at first base. This is John Abilene. Either Jack Abilene or Gar Stone. I'm not quite sure. Abilene.
Incidentally, this boy just came over from Holland a few months ago. He's only played 6 games of this, and you can see how easily adaptable it is to any boy this age. Here's a boy from a foreign country from over here in a few weeks has taken to the game and has done well as on the All-Star team.
Could be foul ball. It is, and he's out for the 3rd out. Well, that was a big inning for the red team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs they picked up there, making the score now 8-0 in favor of the red team. Well, that Jack Abilene, who made the last out, as Arnie mentioned, is from Holland. And I talked to his father just before the game, and his father, Arnie, said that his son asked him, well, were you ever on television to play baseball when you were this young? And he said, no. He said, I never even played baseball in our country. Soccer is the major sport there. And the boy seemed surprised that he never played baseball and got the thrills out of playing this great American game. So it certainly is a type of game that captures a young boy, considering the fact that he has not played any at all.
Another interesting point you might be interested in, Gus, that we've had approximately 220 boys sign up for this Pee Wee baseball this year.
Well, it's certainly a commendable program. I think the rules lend to a lot of action and the teaching of a lot of important baseball skills for young boys, because they would not be playing this game as well as they are now if they had to play under Little League rules, for example. Pitcher would be dominating play, and the batter probably very seldom would ever hit the ball. Boys 6, 7, and 8 years old have a tough time hitting a ball and even catching a ball.
There's been considerable research on this, as you know, Gus, and by actual count, there's been most of the time, and when these boys this age play, mostly it's a pitcher and catcher type of game.
Craig Raddy hits the ball. Stopped by the second baseman. A nice play by the first baseman on that high throw for the first out. That first baseman, let's see, that was Danny Taylor for the Reds. Well, this Red team is not only playing a good offensive game, but they're doing a wonderful job out in the field. They have a shutout going so far, which is an unusual thing in this game. There, the tee went farther than the ball again, and that happens. Jerry mentioned that to us when he was discussing the game. Terry Rocky is the batter, 6 years old, and that's today is Terry's birthday. Well, let's see if Terry can get a base hit for his birthday. Well, he might beat this out. Here's the play. Out at first base. Well, you know, Ernie, it's a surprising thing. These boys, they'll knock a ball down and they'll follow through with a nice throw.
They sure will. I'm certainly getting a thrill just watching from this vantage point. You're seeing the game entirely different light, and it's certainly very, very interesting to see it from this light.
This is Steve Estelle. Fly ball, might be caught. Dropped by the third baseman. Got under it nicely, makes the throw anyway, but he's safe. Steve Estelle on first base, so the Blues threaten. They have 2 outs. Brings to the bat Ricky Driver, right shortstop. Ricky's the boy been doing a lot of exceptionally fine work at shortstop. Oh, no, wait a minute. That isn't... is that a substitute?
This is substitute now, let's see. It'll be left short. Who's the substitute on left short? Left short. Who's the other one? Left short.
We don't have them down. Let's see if we can find out who... Jerry, who's the batter up there, do you know? Oh, that is Ricky Driver. We're wrong on the right shortstop position. Must have been the other right shortstop. Really short of that other boy that was doing all that work and catching the grounders and so forth. Well, this is Ricky Driver, 8-year-old, plays on the Lone Ranger team. Like to get a base hit. This is one of the only left-handed batters we've seen this afternoon. Fans, most of the batters are right-handed, which is common, of course, in baseball. So this might be a play here for the second baseman. Foul. Got one more try. Or is that the third one? That's the third one, the third out. So, no runs again as the Reds hold the Blues to no runs. That's a shutout so far. So a fine defensive game here being played by this Red team.
2 minutes to 2. 2 to 2.
Well, we're going into the first half of the last inning. These boys play 5-inning games. And the first batter will be Ken Supranaut, 8-year-old of the Yogi Berras team. Score is 8-0. Pee Wee Reds over the Pee Wee Blues from Albion. A game today between 2 teams of boys ages 5 through 8 playing without a pitcher and a catcher in unique rules that are very conducive to fine baseball development. Ken Supranaut now the batter, getting his toe hold there at the home plate. Takes his practice swings, and here it goes. Whoa, he missed it. Got to keep your eye on the ball in this one, too, don't you, Arnie? There's a grounder, really short. Nice throw, but it's Wiles. Going on to second is Ken Supranaut. That's the red or the blue team? I can't tell. This Russell Klein. Russell Klein, the batter. It's going to be in there safely. So we got two runners on now. David Curry coming up to the plate. The batter is David Curry. Maybe we'll get a look at Melvin Mills, the 5-year-old, again in this inning, Arnie. We're going to practice swings. Ball drop, just like in golf. Sometimes, or did he hit it there? Oh, a player running across the field there. Going into the bullpen. Here comes David Curry's try at hitting that ball off the tee. Ground ball to the shortstop. Stops it. Makes the throw at second. Safe at second. Out. He got off the base. The ball was still contained by the player in the circle, so he was out. Run scored. Makes the score 9-0. Brings up to the plate Dale Hildreth. Swing and miss. They get 3 tries to hit the ball fair. Be a foul ball because the third baseman catches it within that semicircle, 45 feet from home plate. Boy, this is a fast game, Arnie. You know, you never dreamed that it would be, but they play fast baseball.
Generally, the 5 innings are played somewhere between
There's a nice
25
play.
and 35 minutes.
Really short of shortstop, another spectacular play. So that's the second out, and here we have Melvin Mills, 5 years old, right fielder for the Bugs Bunnies team. Well, let's take a look at Melvin.
He's hitting uphill a little bit today. That's why our diamond is a little more level.
Jerry Sacharski, the director, said that Melvin is hitting the ball uphill today. That's why he's having a little trouble at the plate. Well, let's see what Melvin can do here. 5 years old, the youngest player in organized baseball. There's the grounded ball, but the shortstop catches it in within the 45 foot radius there, and so it's a foul ball. So Melvin will have 2 more tries here to hit the ball safely. Melvin Mills, right fielder for this Pee Wee Red All-Star team from Albion, Michigan. He's lining it up there, Arnie.
Yeah,
He's going to really hit this one, boy. Whoop! Foul. 2 strikes. So Melvin is going to bear down now. Everybody's waiting. There it goes. Foul ball on a nice play by the third baseman, keeping it from getting out of that 45-foot radius, and so that's the 3rd out. No runs in that inning, and we're going into the last half of the 5th inning here. We'll bring up Waverly Short, Mike Reynolds, and Richard Everett for the blue team. Well, Jerry Sacharski, the director of the baseball program, tells us that if there is a shutout today, it'll be the first shutout in the history of Pee Wee baseball. He told us previously that the scores are usually up there 25-20 of that nature, and here the red team is holding the blue team scoreless over 4 full innings. So we're going into the last half of the last inning. The Blues want to score. It's a fly ball. Center fielder drops it. There goes a fast runner to second. He's going to round second. He's coming into third base. Here's the throw to third, but it's wild, and he's going to score. And that breaks the record-breaking shutout for the red team. The Blues score. Waverly Short, the left shortstop, hit a fly ball out to center field that was dropped, but he went around to score on the play. And so that broke up the shutout for the red team. So that's 1 run now. There's a fly ball. Attempt by the shortstop to catch it. And he pulls up safely at first base. That was Mike Reynolds.
Play like that home run there was almost like Mickey Mantle. It's just as thrilling as watching a big leaguer going around.
Boy, these boys get a chance to run. There's no question about that. There's a hard hit ball. That's going to be a base hit. So the Blues have come to life here. They may tie this game up in the last half of the fifth. Here comes the runner. He's going to attempt to score. Here it comes. Here's the play at home. Ball versus boy. And he's going to score on that. That was Richard Everett. Going to go him all the way around. Listen to that applause they're getting from the partisan blue team. Got to go back, huh? So Richard Everett goes into third base. That's 2 runs. The score now 9-2. Brings up to the plate Jim Brown, third baseman, 8 years old. It's going to be foul. Foul ball. Did not get out of the 45-foot radius mark. No outs. The Blues threatening here. We got a lot of action in this ball game. Jim Brown ready to hit. There's a grounder. Might go in there safely. Nice play by the shortstop. Here's the play at first. Safe at first. A run score.
Beautiful stop over there, Gus.
Right. First baseman made a nice stop. Danny Taylor. Well, Jim Brown's on first. George Johnson now the batter. That's 3 runs. 9-3. Last half of the 5th inning. And no outs for the blue team. They were shut off for 4 straight innings, but now they found their batting eye. Here's a fly ball going out to center field. Missed by the center fielder. Here comes the running action. Run in by the outfielder. Throw to home to cut off the run. Now, what's the rule on that, Jerry? Now, what? There's no catcher. Right. There's another grounder. Run going to score on this. There's the play to first. Out at first. Here comes the runner at home. Let's watch it. Got to go back, huh? Got to go. You'd have called that safe because the throw was too high. The ball has to reach that cylinder of the lined area around the home plate before the runner. Did a run score on that? There's a fly ball caught by the second baseman.
Oh, he had to go back.
9-3. We've got 1 out, or 1 out, isn't there? 9-3. 2 runners on, 1 out. And the tee goes farther than the ball. What power some of these kids have. Who's the batter? Who's the batter? Mark Ashdown hits the ground ball. It's going in between the outfielders. 2 runs are going to score. Mark's going to go on to second base. Here's the play at second. Safe as he slides in there. 2 runs scored there. 9-5 the score. Well, 9-5 is the score. We only have 2 more minutes for airtime here. We certainly hope that we can catch some of the run scoring here because this team only has 1 out. Here's a ground ball. Fielded nicely by the shortstop. The throw to first. He's out. And that's the 3rd out. The ball game is over, and the red team wins. Well, that was a very thrilling exhibition of baseball as played by these 2 teams from Albion, Michigan under the direction of Jerry Sacharski and Arnie Spahn. Well, Jerry, that was certainly a ball game. I think you have made believers of all these people that watch this game. This is an exciting type baseball game. Rules adapted to the 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old.
That's right, Gus. Boy, they really did a tremendous job. Boy, Arnie, we're really proud of the boys today. I'll tell you that.
Well,
I was a little doubtful about things, but I tell you, they were right in there and did a wonderful, wonderful job.
Well, you certainly should be proud. And, Jerry, we want to take this opportunity to thank you for bringing the boys down and thank the boys for us.
Okay,
we really
fine.
enjoyed it.
We've had a good time here, and them boys have really enjoyed it. And, well, maybe we'll see you again sometime.
Right. Thank you, Jerry, and good luck to you. Well, this is our last telecast, fans, and we certainly appreciate bringing these games to you and certainly hope that you enjoyed watching them. We have some credits to give. We want to thank the Biggie Munn and Cy Merriman for the use of the baseball field here. We want to thank Henry Dykema and Pete Peterson of the East Lansing Kiwanis Club for their help. And we want to thank the recreation directors of the various communities, Jerry Sacharski and Arnie Spahn here, Gene Desautel of Flint, Everett Sheenick of Jackson, Jim Beers of Jackson, Herb Kipke, Don Moffitt of Lansing, Norman Hicks of the Lansing YMCA. And we want to also give our thanks to Joe DeBello and Jim Eulendyke of the East Lansing Recreation Department. And my thanks to the staff here, Gaylord Creedon, Tom Banks, Janice Brown, Dick Reynolds, Chuck Wininski, and Don Dabrowski. This is Gus Kanakis saying goodbye. Thank you very much. Enjoy the summer.
Michigan State University has presented Midget League Baseball live from the intramural field on the campus of Michigan State University. We hope you have enjoyed these telecasts as much as we have enjoyed bringing them to you, and we would appreciate hearing any comments you might have relating to this series. Video engineer for this program was Don Dombrowski. Sportscaster Gus Ganakis. This program was produced and directed by Gaylord Creedon.
The Donald Ducks, the Davy Crocketts, the Bugs Bunnies, the Porky Pigs, and the Pinocchios. All were new teams and pioneers in the Pee Wee game, commonly known as T-ball. Jerome Jerry Sacharski was a teacher, a coach, and in the summer, the baseball director for the Albion Department of Recreation. Remembering a quote from the coach that changed everything. All these little guys came out to play summer baseball, and I just couldn't send them home. So, he redesigned the ball field to accommodate the smaller children, developed fundamentals and rules to allow the 6 to 8-year-old players to participate, and, most importantly, he introduced the batting tee. As one of the former players said, if you never hit the ball, you never get on base. So the rest of the rules really don't matter to you. The T-ball concept emerged independently in several places in the 1950s and early 1960s. However, it is collectively known that in Victory Park, Albion, Michigan, on June 25, 1956, the first organized baseball game to use the batting tee played. In 1960, Michigan State University hosted the Pee Wee players in an exhibition game. That game was videotaped by a local television station. In 2000, the video was accepted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. 30 boys from Albion are baseball all-stars, and you can find them in Cooperstown. Since the late 1950s, millions of boys and girls have enjoyed and excelled at baseball, thanks to a caring teacher and coach who knew that to learn the game, you have to play the game.